Already Tracy the challenge, the Blacksite stealth, reinforced doors, heavy bags, and hidden injection bars. So there's no 50 minutes, which I suppose is nice, but then aside from that, it's mainly going to be about hidden injection bars since, to put it quite simply, reinforced doors and heavy bags don't really matter. I mean, there's one small part about heavy bags that might be a problem, and it's quite simply just moving the bags up to actually hide them for this initial part. Literally every other part, it doesn't really matter since, well, there's places to hide it, it's fine, it just doesn't really matter at all. We just move marginally slower and it's gonna go just fine. Now unfortunately that camera's facing towards us, which means that we're going to need a disguise unless we want the camera operator to be extremely aware of what we're doing and immediately press the alarm button, which isn't exactly ideal, so we're just going to wait for a disguise since that's evidently the better option. Now the guard over there is still very much aware of something that's going on, so we're just going to awkwardly wait since please keep walking. That'd be nice. Because we can just take you out. I mean, we've got a free disguise now, we could actually move in. After we loop the camera, of course, unless we have a keycard, which we almost certainly won't. Unless we clear everyone, which is definitely an option. But first we're gonna grab the disguise and we're just going to loop the camera. Generally though, it's still a decent idea to loop this camera since, even with a keycard, it's still quite nice to put a gun out beforehand, which the camera's very much going to be aware of, if we don't loop it. So, there's presumably 2 more guards now, which... that's some very, very convenient 2 guards, which does tempt me to do this right here, which might be a horrible idea. And by horrible idea, I mean it is a horrible idea. Please stop being aware of what's happening over here, just be oblivious for a bit. So we can loop this camera, go upstairs, loop that camera, and then... that camera is down, so we're just going to knock you out, and well, hopefully you don't fall down, which would be quite hilarious if that happened, if the guard were to just fall down and get caught by that camera. It's definitely possible, it's happened before, it's just not ideal. So Cyber's the disguise now, and I really want a keycard since we have cleared a lot of cameras, and that is a perfect opportunity. Why do you have a radio? Just no. We found set a radio now, which is now quite unfortunate, but we should do just fine for the most part. Is it ideal? Absolutely not. But also now we know that the last card has a keycard because of course, so... where are you? No really, where is that? Right then, we're just going to ignore that guard since that is clearly a bad location to be in. Just, by all intents and purposes, not a great place. Not a great place to take someone out right in front of a camera since that's kind of how this works, but... then again, if Cyber feels ambitious enough to loop that, that works just fine. Or you could just walk over here and we could just get a free keycard, which works out just fine too, so we're just going to back the guard up. Cyber may or may not take the keycard, which would work out just fine. But we're just going to take our very, very sweet time to just go over here, bring the bag up over here, then bring the bag inside. And that's really it. Now that we've cleared the entire area right now, it's not 50 minutes, there's absolutely no stress, and I think Cyber might want to take the keycard. I mean, we could also offer a scrambler, which works out just fine. Or that can happen, which... I mean, alright. What we're going to do is we're just going to grab the scrambler, go up over here, and then afterwards clear this room. Which, I mean, that worked out just fine, so we're just going to bag everyone up, and then that guy is just going to float momentarily midair. And then Cyber drops a keycard, so we're just going to leave a scrambler. And who knows, Cyber might take the scrambler, and then we can just take the keycard, which works out just fine by me, it doesn't really matter at all anyways. But right now, we're going to loop this camera. You're going to be over there, because of course you are, but it's not like it really matters, so we're just going to go through here, all the way over here. Hello there, everyone. And then, well, we can just loop this camera. I mean, this is one of the easier cameras to loop since it's not really exposed to literally everything. Now, it seems like... keep walking. Well, I mean, now that we've taken out 2 guards, that does make things quite convenient, so we're just going to bag them up. And then whenever we see an opportunity, we could just run through. Is this a great way of doing things? Maybe, maybe not. It works out just fine. So we're just gonna bag this other guard that Cyber clearly wants to bag, but it's slightly faster this way. To some extent, it's not like it's really significant. It's largely negligible, but it's definitely something that we can do. And then whenever we're feeling ready, we could just run through here, up over here, hostage you over here, and let Cyber take care of that, then hostage you over here, or just almost get another radio by, well, not knocking you out, which isn't exactly great. Now Cyber's bringing the other guard up, so we're just gonna go through. That's not how this works, but alright. We're gonna move you in. Cyber's going to presumably grab the other bag, and I'm just going to actually, hold on. You could join us over here, that'd be quite nice. Do we need to? No, not really. Is it funny? Somewhat. Is it very, very funny? Absolutely not. So you can just go all the way down here, hop down over here, we can knock you out, and then we could just bag you up. I mean, is there really a reason to do this? No. Some other guard has presumably already seen the S97 that the guard dropped, which is a bit unfortunate, but it's not really a problem. Now, seemingly there aren't any cameras here at all. There are none. Which, I mean, works out just fine. So we're just going to knock out these guards, then we're going to knock out these guards, and Cyber's going to grab a drill. Or Cyber's just going to open cell C, which works out just fine. So we're just going to open cell C, Cyber's going to start drilling cell B, and if it's going to be in cell B, that's going to be quite disappointing. So essentially, hopefully it doesn't happen, since cell B is going to be rather fast. This is taking a long time. It is not in cell B. It might be in cell C, but the fact that it's not in cell B is a bit unfortunate since, well, it's quite literally the fastest route. Rose just has to go outside, walk through here, into the room. For cell C and D, it's a much longer walk, since Rose has to go through there, all the way through there and up over here. But as for cell A, I mean, it's not there, it's clearly in cell D, which is a bit unfortunate, since it's a bit of a long walk, but I mean, there's still worse. We could just spend 3 years drilling open each one, or we could just, well, spend 3 years opening every single door individually. But then again, in the ideal world, cell B is going to be the first cell, and, well, it's going to take a very short amount of time, which would be quite convenient. But now that cell D is open, we're just going to go through here, waste a bit of time doing that, and then meet Rose, which hopefully won't take too long, but it's not like it's 15 minutes, so it's not like it really matters. But we're going to meet Rose. Rose is going to take the arduously long walk all the way upstairs, then afterwards, well, we could just go through there. So if Rose could just take the extremely slow. Cyber, why are you opening cell A? I mean, the next one's cell B, clearly, but it's not really necessary at all. And we should probably work on trying to move right now, which would be quite helpful. Even if it's not 50 minutes, it's still nice to have a bit of urgency. So we're just gonna go through here, we're gonna go upstairs, and then afterwards go meet the commander. Or at least one of us is gonna meet the commander and interrogate him. At least in some form, so we're gonna go through here. Then we could either just find a commander, or we could just start, well, hello there, hunting for one of the rooms that actually has the terminal. But it seems like the commander's going to that very much secluded room, which would be quite convenient, since it's literally a secluded room. So if you were to just notice me for a bit, start facing here, and then just continue facing there so I can go behind you, loop that camera, which, I mean, it's just hilarious at this point, and then just hostage you and interrogate you. Now, unfortunately, if someone were to come in on us, that would not be great at all. In fact, it would be quite bad, but we're just gonna start by knocking everyone out. And then hopefully, no one shows up. If someone does, that will be rather unfortunate. So we're just gonna keep our eyes on that door over there, since this room is going to have one door that's actually open. It's either that one or that one. I mean, the other one's technically open, it just needs a keycard. Or a keycard in some form, such as a scrambler. Is that really a keycard? No, not really. Could it be a keycard? Sure. You know, I almost thought that was two guards, but one of them is Cyber, and that's not exactly how this works. But if the room is indeed here, once Cyber opens this, it is a nice place to hide a body. So we're just going to leave this right here. And Cyber's just going to stay over there, so we're going to take our own time to use the computer and put in the code. You don't notice anything, right? At all? I mean, sure, alright, we'll just take you out and that's gonna go just fine. We've taken out 4 guards in here, 1 commander and 3 normal guards. And there's another one over there which is extremely tempting, but it's clearly a bad idea, so we're just going to leave the presumably last guard be, since we really... presumably one of the last 2 guards be, since we really do not need to do anything right now. Then wait and wait for Rose to show up, which shouldn't take too long anyways. But Rose is going to go over here, Rose is going to open the doors, and then afterwards we're just going to run, and run, all the way to the helicopter as soon as possible, which... I mean, that's really it. That's the daily challenge done in just under 10 minutes and 30 seconds. Cheers everyone, have a great time!